Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Sultan, and you are welcome to Metromale. Yes, you're welcome to this show. I'm so glad that with all the feedback we've been getting from you, it is obvious that everything we've been saying here has impacted your life positively, and we just pray to Allah to continue blessing us with the wisdom not to mislead anybody, just to guide you towards the way of the deen. Of course, I have my usual suspects with me, my brothers.
Ahmad, Oyekan. That's mine.
It's your story. It's because that's your name. Now you must talk about.
Yes, nah, that is mine.
Of course, it's your name now.
So you said what talking about?
Of course.
Okay.
Osikoya, also known as Saheed Osikoya.
Okay. And you're welcome to the show. Again, we're going to make you guys think towards Islam and towards how to be a better Muslim and, blend in the society while being a better Muslim. On this episode, what we are talking about is a very, very, is a topic that is very close to my heart. Corruption.
That big word.
Close to my heart in the sense that I've done a lot of songs, to deal with that topic. And I'm so excited that we're here as Muslim men in the society, and at least we're not scholars of some sort, but we know that it is wrong. Corruption is wrong. Corruption is not what we want any Muslim to take part of, or anybody to take part of. Exactly. But as Muslims, how can we stop it, and how can we advise? Some people don't even know they are doing corruption. That's how bad it is.
That is very correct.
That's very right.
You're very right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Corruption is a word that is very, I think it's very commonly used, especially in Nigeria. It's hardly a day goes by you don't hear the word corruption in whichever form it comes of corrupt people, corruption. It's become like part of our vocabulary here in Nigeria. And what you keep wondering is that how come corruption just keeps on increasing, despite all the talk we talk about corruption and how bad it is and how it's destroying our economy, our livelihood, our system, and why is corruption still increasing? And we seem to have a lot of spirituality in this country. A lot of mosques, a lot of churches, a lot of programs. The number of so-called divine leaders have increased. The people who have received callings have increased. But you don't see the impact on the people, and you don't see the impact on society. If you have so much learned, called people, divine people, we should have God's divine intervention in this country. Yes. And it should impact positively on the people. And
the behavior
of the people. So it baffles me. So I say there's something that we're not doing right. Either we're not being sincere, or there are things that we're not doing rightly, we've lost track. And people just mouth the word corruption. Let's just start with what the classical idea of corruption in Nigeria is. The classical idea, ask them what is corruption. They say, he's a big man, and they've given position, and he's chopping all the money. That's just, for them, corruption is a big guy in a big top position.
That's what they think about corruption.
That's their own definition.
That's the definition of corruption. Corruption does not extend beyond that. So all the big people in society are corrupt, and they are depriving them of their dues. But corruption comes in different forms, and they're all part of a whole. When you have corruption in different segments of the society, the whole society becomes corrupt. So there are people that are morally corrupt.
There's even corruption in home.
In the home,
when you start to bribe your kids because you want them to go and do something, you give them. You
don't you see that as just trying to reward them?
No, I don't say that as a reward. That's corruption.
Don't you see it as
it's sensitizing
trying
them.
to sensitize them? Because kids,
they don't use. I think
maybe not money.
Not money.
Maybe privileges.
Privileges, exactly. Say, look, if you pass in school, you get to watch cartoons till 10 p.m. on the weekends. Don't necessarily bribe them with gifts or money,
Monetary
because
values.
monetary value, because that's when it grows with them, and it grows a long way. And when they grow older, they start saying, "Oh, go and bring me something." And mommy, if you don't give me money, I'm not going to go. You know. So give them things like, say, okay, look, if you do well in school, we're going swimming. Things that have nothing to do with monetary values. You know, like don't promise them gifts or material things. Don't promise them things or money or material things. Let it be things that they can't buy with money. It's just things that add more comfort or excitement to their life.
Okay. So you're very right there, because you see, some of these things we do, we don't notice the impact on people, and it's lifelong. I had a couple, a friend, family friend, and I was shocked when they were having a conversation between the father and the daughter. They said they went out to the restaurant one day, and they finished eating, and you notice that the dad was taking the silverware from the table. And she was asked the daughter, like, the daughter asked that, Daddy, what is? He said, but we've paid now.
Wow.
So I said, what kind of example are you giving your daughter? It's easy to take stuff from table because you paid for the food, you didn't pay for the cutlery and the silverware. Yeah. So things like this, what you consciously do, it impacts on the child. And the child starts saying from an early age, there's nothing wrong because my father did this, or this is the way I was brought up. So you don't see corruption as something really serious. But the impact is far-reaching. Because in Islam, they say once you are put in a place of responsibility, the responsibility is so high that, people used to run from place of responsibility. People used to run. When you want to appoint you back in the days in a position of authority, they will run because they said, I fear that I might do something that I don't know. Ungodly. Then on the day of judgment, I will have to account for it, or have impacted on people's lives. Give example.
Reverse is the case right now.
Yeah.
You see how they jubilate
when they win election.
So
it's like
reverse is the case.
Their ticket has now come to fruit. They said the Caliph Umar, they said when a donkey used to stumble in Baghdad, and he said he whipped himself since he cries. Because he said that road that donkey stumbled, if the person gets hurt, I am responsible for it. That's authority. That's, you're responsible for each and every person and his well-being under you. So if you don't perform your duties, even if you think it's your satisfaction, you're going to answer to Allah. So that is the kind of leadership qualities when you get to the position of authority. But now people rush there because of what they will pay. It's like an investment. So when they invest all the money in it, you're not thinking of what the service to provide, what I'm going to go and do and impact the lives of people. You're thinking of how am I going to reap the dividends of my
It's power business. And we're not talking electricity. Because you have all these godfathers investing in candidates, and hopefully we'll drip something when they get there. These kind of things make me wonder, in Nigeria, I can tell you categorically, I'm sure 50% of the politicians are Muslims or more.
You're very correct.
So, my brother, I know that you have a more vivid Quranic interpretation to corruption, to riba, all these things. If there's any of them watching us, what could you tell them, to kind of make them deter from these kind of things?
My advice to the Muslims that are in power, in positions of authority, is to please, if you are involved in activities or actions corrupt in nature, please desist from it, because it does not do anybody any good. Short term, yes, you might make some benefits and advantage for you, but in the long run, you will all pay for it. You take money from the system that's meant for everybody, you put it in your pocket. Yes, you can buy a nice car, take your kids overseas, holidays, build a big house with the big fence and big security all around. You see, but at the end of the day, the road that you're supposed to, that money should have gone to, you're still going to drive through the road. One day you might have an accident before sick, go to the hospital, no drugs are there. That money that should have gone there, you diverted it. So we all pay for it directly or indirectly. So it does nobody any good in the long run. Let the system run, get your benefits, be satisfied with what Allah has given you, and Allah will make it easy for you. The people who have this fear that, look, if I don't steal, I will suffer. Or my people call me fools. You did not make it while you are there. No, people that make it, it's Allah that helps you make it. Allah grants his risk, not they call his risk, his blessings, his barakah to people. Believe in him and he'll grant it to you. The richest people are not the civil servants. They put that work hard. The Bill Gates and co. They've never done public service, but they are wealthy because they do a lot of work, put in a lot of hard work, and God blesses their effort.
And they do a lot of sadaka.
I don't know, so please, let's not have that fear that, look, if I don't steal, I cannot be successful. No. More than more, you're making your case worse for yourself. You make yourself a target now with this whistleblower now. Life is even a bit more difficult for them. So with this whistleblower now, because once they steal, another thing you find out, once they steal, they cannot share the loot with everybody. They tend to hide it. So even members of the families don't even benefit.
Yeah.
When they pass away, the money is kept somewhere they don't know.
Nobody
knows about it.
Ground.
Is it buried on the ground? Is buried in the ceiling somewhere or locked up in one house
Graveyards.
somewhere? Graveyards. Now, can you just imagine? Maybe that's when they want to bury you. Now find out the money is stashed in his grave. Just imagine the irony of life. Of what use is it to you? Of what use is it to you? Please let the system run the way it should. Add your value. Do your service as a Muslim.
For me, I feel like all these politicians and all these people that steal money, like, and then they take the money to build big mosques and do sadaqah with the money, send people to Hajj, go to Umrah every year. I think, to be honest, you're still stealing. It's a sin. So the money doesn't even necessarily mean. What am I to say that God will not forgive you? God forgives everybody, but it's a sin. So the money is not clean money. It's not pure money.
They are maintaining the culture of bribe. So they think they can bribe Allah after thieving the money. If I do good and do this thing, maybe. Well,
maybe Allah will accept the bribe.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is that it goes just beyond that. When you take people's money or money that belongs to people, you owe them.
Exactly.
So they must forgive you before Allah forgives you. Do you understand me?
Akbar.
So if you take money that's meant to build a road and use it to buy a car for yourself and feed your family, everybody that's supposed to benefit from that road, you owe that person a debt. So on the day of judgment, they will collect back when you cannot pay. And they say when you cannot pay, they take it from your good deeds. And when you cannot take from your good deeds, they will add it to your sins. So seriously. So let's not be in the position of the day of judgment where we have to pay for something which we cannot we can't. So I really marvel because as a human being, how much can you eat? How much can you? How many rooms can you sleep? How many beds can you?
When people are building 20-bedroom houses and you only have 4 kids, like it's a waste of money. You build massive apartments all over.
My mom always
with huge rent and no one to
my
live
mom
there.
always told me something in Yoruba. She says one side. At the end of the day, no matter how big your mansion is, you might have a mansion with 100 rooms, 200 beds in the mansion. You will only sleep on one side at the end of the day.
True, very true. If only we realize that. To all the struggle to make it, or we got to the position where we want to make it for ourselves and our families, what people don't know that indirectly you're now cursing and putting some serious problems on the kids or your people that don't know about it.
Exactly.
You want to send your son to school with money that you've stolen and you expect the benefits to come back. When the child goes there and becomes a drug addict, it becomes a problem to you in life. We say, whoa, I tried my best. I sent him overseas.
With what money?
But what money? What was the root of that money? There's no blessing in it. So you're cursing your children. Let's not extend it to people that don't know about it.
Okay, now let's talk about how we can, if we find ourselves in a position where corruption is staring us in the face, or using let me use, for us who are men, using our beautiful face to lure you to come. Corruption is very tempting. You know that. And you can't, there's sometimes, I told people, I said, I don't see myself being a politician. Definitely. A lot of people are like, going by your music, we think we can, we want to see you do something. I'm like, no, because I don't think, by the time we get into the thick of it all gets messy, because you can't be that. Even if you try to be the nucleus where the whole thing, it's hard.
I'm sure some of our Muslim politicians will disagree with you and tell you that you have to be there to make a change. You have to be there to try to stem the flow. If you are not there, things will be worse.
I stand to be corrected, but I'm just saying this is my creed. I lived by. Like I think I have my vantage point of the whole situation of Nigeria. It's not like I'm always naysaying, but I look at it from the masses and from the people from the outside and say, hey, this is wrong. I don't see myself being able to do that if I'm in the thick of it all, because I know that place is a dirty game.
But what do we do? This is a dirty game we're doing, and we're operating a dirty system. And the dirty system is the one that rules us. Are we going to sit down and say, okay, look, we just give up and let the dirty guys continue with their dirty game?
No, I'm playing my position.
I understand you. People have to get involved. So the question now is, how do we now impact, or what can we do in a little way to stem the tide, or to reduce the flow of that corruption flow, or see what we can positively impact and make sure we start to reduce it. And the way I see it starts from the immediate family. Teach your children to believe in doing things the right way. Don't cut corners. You see, because corruption is not only stealing money. It's not only stealing money. People just assume that corruption is no. When you use your position of authority for your advantage, that's corruption. You use your position to get your child into school when he doesn't deserve to. And deny a person that deserves the opportunity.
Don't you think in the situation of
that's
Nigeria,
corruption too?
Situation of Nigeria, sometimes kids made the cutoff, and then other people have used leg to take the.
That's what I'm saying, my brother. Yes.
No, but now he too has to go through somebody, and then his father through someone other person influences. See me as I thought you talk my life history here. The father uses his friend's influence to get him into school. Is that corruption?
No, if you don't deserve to, then there's corruption. But if
some people don't deserve to, and if you deserve it, it's fine.
Fine, but if you don't deserve to, then that's corruption, because you've used advantage to deny someone that was qualified for that position. So you've unduly cheated that person. That's corruption. But if the person deserved to and said, look, I still have to make sure that he doesn't get cheated, and yes, based on all these qualifications, and he deserves to be there, then there's no problem. But we use things to our advantage. You have an official car. It's meant for official hours. You take it out for Owambe, you travel with it because you're not buying petrol. Government is buying petrol. You don't think about that. That's corruption. Do you get me? People that have office things, like your phone in the office, your family and friends come down and use the phone and rack up the bills for government. That's corruption too. You shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be doing that. And you're denying people that money that's going to be used for that service. It was meant to go somewhere else. Exactly. Because someone in charge will say, well, it's Oyekan now. We have to pay a bill of 50,000, 100,000.
At the end of this episode, we are not going to be too popular. Because you are going to touch so many people. And I'm very sure that so many people are feeling like they pricked their conscience just now. And I know a lot of us
but to be honest,
that's when I started, I was saying, some people don't even know that they are doing corrupt things.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I would like us to itemize more things, even though some they touch me too. Yeah. And that's why you told me I was on the defensive side, because I know I passed when I did my job, and some people used money to collect my slot, and my dad still
went back to go.
So we'll be right back. I hope you guys are still by your TV set when we get back. It's still Metromale. Hello, you're welcome back. My name is Sultan, and we're still on the show Metromale. Here with my usual suspects, my brother Ahmad Oyekan, before he starts saying the name, and my brother Saheed Osikoya. My name is Sultan, of course, Abdul-Ganiyy Fasasi. And the topic before us today is corruption. My brother.
As you said, a lot of people will not be comfortable watching the show because I guess it's going to reflect on them, and we pray that they go back and reflect.
Because all of us, there's no one, all of us here, we're not perfect.
We're not perfect, man.
We're not perfect. We're just here discussing so that we can remind ourselves while reminding you about these things that we overlook.
Because when we look at some of these things, you overlook them, but they have far-reaching consequences. So it's good to remind ourselves and say, look, how we go abroad overseas and see countries that are well developed. I was like, how things are running perfectly. Oh, it's beautiful. I want it to be like London. I want to go to London. How does London run perfectly that way? No, it's not even perfect. How does it run in a smooth manner like that? It's because people allow the system to grow and people don't cut corners and don't deprive other people of opportunities and resources that are meant to go to places where are needed.
And the law doesn't compromise.
That's another thing. So that's another part of corruption that we talk about that we don't know. When you have a friend that is a judge, and he comes and you have a case and he says, this is my brother, please help him, assist him. No, you're not assisting him. You're not assisting him. What you're doing, you're not helping him and you're not helping society. If somebody's done something wrong, let the Lord take his course. Just talk to the person and pray that, look, pray, and if you sincerely repent, God will forgive you. But when you've done something wrong, you cannot cut corners. For me, that's even the worst kind of corruption. When justice is denied to people. When you deny justice, it's the worst form of corruption. You know, they say somebody that has justice denied and somebody that is under pressure will pray to Allah. And they say the prayer goes straight to the throne of Allah. So people use your policemen to harass, to oppress people. That's all corruption. You're using state authority to harass people that are supposed to protect, even when you are wrong. You know, there's so many things that people say, I have a brother is a soldier, let me go and carry him, I have an issue with somebody, I'll go and deal with him. Your brother is a soldier not of your village or your family. He's a soldier of the Nigerian army. And he's responsible, his duty is to protect and serve the whole fellow Nigerians. So when you use him now to oppress, using the uniform and the symbol of authority to oppress people, that is corruption.
There's also corruption in the police force. When someone offends you and you take them to police station, they ask you for bribe. There was one time where the police stopped me and they took me to their station. I settled the whole case with the DPO, everything, because I wasn't at fault. I did nothing wrong, and I was leaving the station. Can you believe the guys at the gate said I could not leave, that I have to pay them for driving into the police compound, you have to settle them. I'm like, what country do they do that in? So for going into a police station, you have to pay. They said even if you come and report case, you have to pay. So I come and report a criminal offense to you, and I have to pay to leave the police station again. Like,
those ones are the bad eggs. You see, they are spoiling the police force for us.
And they spoil because there's so many good guys in the police force. Like, there's so many young guys doing well in the police force that are trying to give the police force a new name. But because of all the bad eggs, in the hospital there's corruption. So all the toiletries that they supply to the hospital, the sanitary pads, the toilet rolls, and different things, bed sheets and stuff like that. You go to a general hospital, and then you have all these things that they supplied for free. Then the nurses now sell it back to you. It doesn't make any sense.
As you're talking about it, there's so many levels to this. And for me, I just feel we cannot sugarcoat it anymore. If you are so corrupt to sell fake drugs, you don't have heart. You need to change. Because the accountability in front of Allah is going to be so gross. Because I don't understand how you be selling fake drugs to people that really need it to stay alive.
They are paying you money for good drugs, and you're now, taking their life slowly. So,
same thing, the security officials that sell fake bullets.
That's also, a discussion we're having before when we were talking about how things have gone bad, and when you have security people that are supposed to give arms, ammunition, and equipment for people to go and fight, i.e. Boko Haram or militants, and the soldiers are going there believing that the country is giving them the best equipment to fight on their behalf, not knowing some official somewhere have shortchanged it. Instead of having real life bullets, you've got blanks, you've got guns that don't fire, you've got bulletproof jackets that are fake, that the bullets penetrate. And, so they go to war and you find themselves in situations that they start shooting, exchanging fire with the enemy and their guns are jamming and they're getting slaughtered. So what kind of morale are you giving? What level of morale will be in those forces? What level of morale will be within the soldiers? How will they trust their senior officers? How will they believe in the country? You expect someone to go and fight on your behalf, and you are shortchanging even the basic thing he needs to fight, defend himself with.
We've tackled corruption in the high places. Let's go down to the crust, to the rock bottom. You see, we have all these people, mechanics, drivers, tailors,
artisans.
They are the people who we entrust many of our life, our household, our vehicles, everything to. And at the end of the day, because it's small money, we overlook the corruption, but that is still corruption. Because if you cannot manage small money, you won't manage the big money. So, on that scenario, on that level, do you have any experience there?
There's a lot of experiences you have. I'm sure everybody has a story to tell. From your tailor, to your carpenter, to your plumber, to your mechanic, to your driver. Everybody has tales of war. And you see, the sad part of it is that when you start talking to people like that, they say, no, but corruption is people that are still in big places now. And they're guys. We chop money. I say, but bros, you're chopping money too that you don't deserve. When your boss sends you out to go and buy fuel, or 5,000 naira for the tank, you take 2,000 naira. You should change it. Do you get me? That's corruption. That money you've taken from your boss is not blessed. Even if your boss stole that money, it's not blessed money, and it will not do you any good. Exactly. You give your tailor money to sew clothes or buy material. he comes to the substandard one, or he doesn't do the work that you agree on. And they say, okay, just manage it. And then I say, hey, but okay, you get now, why are you complaining? That doesn't make it right. If somebody have
It's like mechanics too. Like when you take your car to a mechanic, they see something, they patch it. You don't know. It happened to me. So my car, something was wrong with it. I took it to a mechanic, trusted mechanic that had been doing stuff for my family for years, you know. But I didn't really like the guy because I felt like you can't fix car, we must come back to you. Every month
every
we
time
must
it
bring
come
the car
back,
back.
it's like you
I
always
used to
keep
tell
one-
my family that this
one
guy
knot
is
loose.
a dodgy guy. No problem. So I said, okay, you know, I'm going to try a different mechanic. I took my car to a different mechanic. The thing that he showed me that he went to buy, something brand new. The new mechanic I took it to brought it down and said, okay, the other mechanic wants to kill you because this thing, he just passed it. He just used duct tape to wrap it around. And he said this thing had spoken expressway or something. Like, you know.
But the thing is, really, what you said is very, very correct. We all have our tales. And as I said, my own greatest problem is when people that engage in such acts don't see it as anything wrong. They believe it's their due, since you have, and that's the way to get. And I tell them, no, do your work.
Exactly.
Charge me for your work.
What do you see about
And God will bless it.
scholars, afars, imams, and indulging such things? Because I would want to say this, I would conceal the identity and try not to, try not to let the cat
Publicize.
out of the bag. I was somewhere trying to get me something, let me not call it, maybe the person will now know. I wanted to buy some household items. And I went there while I was trying to price, you know me, Alaruru. I said, how much last? I just saw one of our fans. Salaam alaikum. So the guy was like, and I don't agree. He said, okay, no. Then he walked out. So I was like, and I don't want to sell for my afa. What did they worry now? I said, no, what did they ask? We know they do that one here. I was like, what do you mean? So the price, He said, no. He was asking us to change the price of the receipt. And we said, they do it here. Then I now looked.
And your mouth was...
My jaw dropped and I was like, what do you want to buy? They now told me. Now, I won't tell you what item you wanted to buy, but I just held that to my memory like, okay. But why would you want to change the receipt? I went for a salatu the next weekend. And then they were saying, they are giving out some stuff to some people that want some scholarships and some other students. And so that household appliance that I wanted to buy was the gift.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yes, and this guy is supposed to be like a missionary, and all.
So you're trying to like put a higher price than it.
And make some money off it.
These are the people that tells us, don't do this, do this.
The moral compass of society.
Yes.
When things are going wrong,
the
ones are supposed to come in and tell you.
So I was like, wow, damn. So I even know how to do right thing past this, my alpha.
Oh, but I don't think alpha is just by...
I think, to be honest, I don't really... There are human beings as well. If I hear an alpha doing something or I see an alpha doing something...
I don't get surprised.
I don't get surprised. Or when they tell me that, we went to one alpha, it tells us to bring something. I don't those things. I don't really... Like, to be honest, because it's everywhere in society. You have the bad eggs and the good eggs. It's just the same way the people think about, Islam is more about all this Boko Haram or ISIS. There's bad eggs everywhere. It's just of us knowing that, look, even if this guy does this thing, I'm not going to follow him. I'm not going to let him be my leader. I'm not going to follow after his example. Yeah. I'll lead my own example so that people behind me or the kids behind me can follow.
Worthy of emulation. Yeah.
Yes, which is you're very right, because as I said, they live in a society, so they are not isolated from it. So some of them get robbed off, some of them can't resist the temptation, some of them fall by the wayside, because day of judgment is not only, even in the, what do you call it, in hellfire, you're going to have our so-called learned people that we thought were learned. We see the examples every day, but the main thing I said is knowing what is good and what is bad. That's why I'm saying that a lot of people look at it and said, our leaders are corrupt. where did they come from? They don't come from space now. They come from heaven, or they come from hell. They come from the same place me and you live in. They come from the same home, the same area, society. Your so-called friend that is your party now that is talking the same thing. Oh, they are thieves. Government is this. They make him a councillor now. Everything will change.
That's what I
He starts wearing new kaftan, new cap. He has a PA. You can't access him again. He starts talking different language from you again. He changes his phone. You can't even reach him again. And that is the same person every night used to criticize and critique government. But when the opportunity comes for him, Abba.
Power is very intoxicating.
Very, very.
What I tell a lot of people is, you're a potential office holder, whatever you think or whatever, wherever you find yourself. So if you get put there tomorrow, you're pointing fingers now. At the end of the day, you might do worse. You might do worse. That's why I'm even afraid for this generation. Let's make it a generation thing now, like the new generation. Corruption. We never had the Yahoo boys.
This new generation, they celebrate so much mediocrity that it's unbelievable.
It's scary. It's really scary. It's not unbelievable. It's scary.
Like they feel like, okay, they worship the way they make people their idols. People who clearly has no original source of income. Person is legitimate source of income. You make them their idols and you worship them, you glorify them around, and then you wonder how our society will be. I mean, they say there's a bill that has been passed, not too young to run. I mean, I'm glad about that, but at the same time, you wonder who are because if you're it's like someone like me, I'm online a lot, I'm on social media, and I read a lot of things.
You mix up with,
and I read a lot of things, and sometimes I hang out with people and I listen to what people say, and I'm like, are these the young people that want to
take over?
You complain about the government being bad. Yes, they're bad, but are we the ones that want to take over? Like, we're 100 times worse than them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when it was our father's time to enjoy their youth, I don't think they had the Yahoo boys like that. Nah. Even though the fraud wasn't really widespread.
I don't even think it's necessarily just about fraud, because let's not just
let's start from there. Let's start from the idea of wanting to make fast money.
That's it.
And be the spectacle, or be the sought after guy on campus. Make that fast money. Everybody will follow you. Everybody will like you. Everybody will, that guy, that's the main guy, man. That guy, what does he do? Oh, man. That's how it starts. Yeah. From that small old survey, you can check how it will be in the big picture when they get out of school. And then they are there. Everybody's on big wheels. Everybody's trying to live it up. And then everybody's still celebrating them without knowing the source of income, like you said. So that's what I'm saying. Now it goes from there. This is a generation. They'll go from one place to the other. And then they'll be the ones, it will be their turn now to rule. It's the same mindset, it's the same orientation that they have of corruption, and celebrating corruption. It's the one they would take to that mantle of leadership, and they will do worse. That's what I'm saying right now. Do you support Yahoo?
I don't support Yahoo, but I'm just saying that those are not the only people that we should really actually focus on.
No, we focus on everybody. It's just their turn.
They're there, but yes, they do Yahoo, but it's not. They are not really. Yes, all these people, youths, they celebrate them, but it's not just them. There's so many other people too that they celebrate that do things that don't really make any sense. Where I think we've forgotten there's no more saying, celebrate one guy because he has a first class. He's doing well. He's achieved something. He got a good job in this bank or that bank. He's doing something great. No, you're celebrating more people that are doing nothing. That's even if you celebrate a musician, sometimes yes, musicians too are good people that are impacting life, impacting people positively. But
let me just summarize it for you. Somebody sent me this video also WhatsApp messages, and this showed the guy that graduated first class from University of Nsukka, and there was a big check.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that 10,000 naira check.
There was a big,
I was close to tears.
10,000 naira.
10,000 naira.
And you know something funny? The thing they
size of
produce
the
that check, it probably
probably,
must have cost them like 5,000 naira to produce
To
that
pay
thing.
that check.
And then
that big, huge
All
check.
right, my people, we'll be right
sorry,
back.
let me
Okay.
was 10,000 naira was his prize money. And somebody said the guy that won the reality show was then 25 million.
Million.
What are we celebrating? It seems our values have gone wrong, and we need to readjust our steps.
No, but yeah, it's still the same thing. I mean, education is when you win education and you're not celebrated, you win it for yourself, and we hope that it will help you and your future and your family
And society at large.
and the society at large. I would like to advise our Muslim youths as well. Do not indulge yourself in helping them promote all these things that are not necessary. Yes, you might think you're the one, you're just making fun of the issue, but the moment you post and you send or you share, you are making it trend, and you don't need that. So it's a very risky business. We don't want anything of that sort. So please, let's take a break right now on Metromale. I know that my guys want to, moisten their mouth. Have you observed?
Yes,
Some,
for sure, because
some drinks.
we've been going through a very, very, very thorny and very, very
Corruption
very,
is a very deep
I'm already
topic.
feeling the heat that we're going to feel when this has been aired.
I'm telling you, that I know a lot of people that will just attack me, but it's all good. I mean, we're here not to
criticize or pontificate, but just to
leave
remind.
We're not criticizing anybody, to be honest. We're
You
just...
understand? Even me, I know when we talk, you get some time, something will happen.
I mean, but me, I'm not perfect myself too, so I'm not criticizing anybody. But I think we're only just trying to let people know that, look, these are things that we shouldn't do. And we also, ourselves, we're learning from what we are saying to each other.
Inshallah. So let's go on a break and we'll be right back on Metromale. One love. You're welcome back. My name is Sultan and you're still on Metromale. Now, if you're just joining us, I'm sorry you have missed the most part of the show, but you can still catch up on what we've been discussing, which has been corruption. So my brother here, Saheed Osikoya. Saheed Osikoya.
All right,
what advice do you have for
so my advice for everyone is, to be honest, I think you should just try to stay away from corruption in every area of life. Education, health, politics, the police force. Try and avoid it as much as possible. And I think the more spiritual and the more connected you are with Allah, it will help you to be able to resist all the temptations from corruption. Because I remind to you guys, corruption is not just big man thing. Corruption starts even from your kids.
Exactly. I wanted you to go back on.
From your kids, don't avoid the corruption of having to give them monetary rewards or gifts for doing things right. You can give them rewards of, say, oh, okay, we'll go swimming, or I extend your time to watch cartoons on the weekend. That kind of
privileges.
Thing. Yes, exactly. Those kind of privileges. They look forward to privileges, so they know that, okay, look, let me do well. Mom is going to let me go to my friend's house, or dad is going to let me go swimming. Rather than saying, oh, mom is going to give me ice cream, or mom is going to give me money. Try and avoid those kind of things. And may Allah make it easy for all of us.
Inshallah.
Amen.
So, my brother here, I thought you were going to rush and say your name.
I'm just looking at you. I look at you.
Ahmad, Oyekan, what do you have to say to that?
What I have to say is that corruption does not benefit anybody at all. So if you think you are getting ahead now, it will catch up with you later. So the sooner we realize it, the better for us all. That if you allow things to be done properly, we all benefit. But if we try to circumvent or shortchange the system, it will come crashing down on us. You cannot avoid it. Your sisters, your family, your friends will suffer from your actions. Do you get me? And it's a vicious cycle. Ill wind that blows nobody any good. So believe in Allah, trust in Allah. Go back to your faith. What does my faith say about this? It is wrong. It has never been right, and it will never be right. Do you understand me? So, and it will never eat. You see, history has a way of repeating itself. Right from history. The ones that made money from corrupt means, how did they end up? The ones that were corrupt in their actions and their ways, how did they end up? They were never good. History celebrates the ones that have done things properly, the ones that have achieved by doing things the right way. So please, let's go back to doing things the right way so that we all benefit from it. And as my brother Saheed said, trust in Allah. Go back to your faith. Allah will find a way for you. Because Shaitan has a way of making things look good. You are smart. Look, man, you just sign that thing and they won't know. Nobody knows. It's you and the other accountant. And it's enter your account. Look at us today. We are hearing stories of things we never thought would come out in the open. People that diverted money, embezzled money.
Gold, silver.
And thought like they had gone away with it. But now, history is just upturning all those things. So there was one house you were hiding money. Oh, this house here, I thought it was my friend that was building it. This is the owner. Allah will reveal. So let's be on the good side of Allah. Let's be on the good side. As Muslims, we should lead by example. Not by saying we are Muslims. You're not Muslims just by a mouth or by nomenclature. You're by Muslims by action. So let it translate. Because it worries me, as a question that you pose, that maybe about 50% of the politicians in power today are Muslims. If you have about 50% and there's nothing changing, then there's something wrong with those Muslims there. Because they should impact. A percentage of 10% will change society. But when you have about half of the population, and even the ones that are not Muslims are very spiritual and religious, and Nigeria is not making any progress. It needs to fight against corruption. Then we have something fundamentally wrong. We are not being sincere with ourselves. So please, let's go back to doing what is right. Our fathers used to talk of how things were back in the days, back in the time where the colonial masters were ruling us, how things were smooth, how they used to sweep the roads were clean, health services were good. Because people believed in the system and didn't try to shortchange the system. So let's go back to that so we can also tell our children the stories. And that things are good, and inshallah things will get better.
Amen. I would say one thing. Let me put it on as a cutting dropper. I would say, as a kid, the funniest thing changed my mind about taking what's not mine. So funny. I was just reading this, biting, or there's this little storybook I used to read, and then I read about this kid that kept taking stuff that wasn't his. Go to this house, take a little toy, go here, take this, take that. And he was sleeping one day, and all those things he took just started coming out of his pockets, his closet, everywhere, and all of them just formed a little cloud like this and started going to where they came from. I don't know. This is a very, very, very funny case, but somehow that thing kind of gave me this feeling that I just feel somehow like it will still happen to me if I do it. And then I got in touch with my guilt side. I want everybody to try and reach out to their guilt side every now and then. They should be conscious about it. You see, when you feel guilty, it's the worst thing that can ever happen to you.
Yes.
Feeling guilty, not afterwards. As in, you want to do this thing, and that guilt just pricks you immediately. I think that would always prick you back into consciousness, and you would remember Allah. So I think first and foremost, try and, be the guilty party. When you just remember that you are going to be guilty afterwards. So for me, that's how I do it. That's the creed I live by. I cannot even take what's not mine. I can't. So many people have called me names in this industry that I was just there, just come and grab this thing. And so that we will make other people happy, but I just wouldn't do that. I'll just beg you to try and always feel guilty. There's nothing wrong in feeling guilty before you do the thing, not afterwards. So thank you very much for staying tuned to Metromale today. I hope, inshallah, we've been able to inspire your thoughts and towards being a better Muslim when it comes to the case of corruption. And us too, I'm sure we learned one or two things while saying one or two things. We thank God and pray that Allah will make it easier for us to be the best Muslims we can be. Amen. Thank you for watching Metromale, and we'll be right back when next you see us. One love.